AA says close to 7 XG over the last 3 games. Yet Arteta is to blame. A team who scores the most goals last season in Arsenal's history. Yet Arteta is to blame. Shameless, crazy fan base. Look,
the only thing I'll say,
go on, Sard.
Sorry, the only thing I'll say, is that Arteta is to blame for this game, because of his substitutions. Yeah, we can all come out and say, "Oh, he done great in putting the team out that managed to create goals, and they weren't able to finish chances." So when half time comes and we haven't been able to finish chances, okay, fine. You bring the players out the same as they were. You give them 10 minutes. Yeah, if they're still not able to score goals, bring on Trossard, who is a known goal scorer. Yeah, as funny as it is, bring in Nketiah. As funny as that sounds, bring him on. See what Nketiah might do. Do you know what I mean? Bring on somebody who can score goals. Don't just sit there and wait until like the 60th, 70th, 80th minute and be like, okay, right now I'm going to try and make a difference in this game when we're losing.
Just to answer that previous super chat as well, Tel, nobody cares about XG. And when you've got your profile picture as Kai Havertz, that tells me everything you need to know, mate. Like your point ain't valid. End of.
Right. Look, I think there's a mixture here. I understand Brandon's point, and no one has yet kind of debunked it that, well, a lot of the players that are struggling, he's given new deals to or he signed. So that's kind of on the manager. Equally, people that I see, a lot of people that hate Arteta love Pep. But yet Pep's the guy that says, I coach my team to get to the edge of the box. After that, it's up to them. And everybody kind of buys into that. And I think there's a happy medium here. I think some of the players are underperforming, but they would go through this even if it was like lots of players. I've seen great players at City struggle and go through bad periods. This is kind of normal. But then you have to look at the overall club and the manager again and say, how well did he build the squad? Because we all know Reece Nelson, we all know Nketiah, these guys are not good enough when you need them. Where with Man City, if Jack Grealish is off the boil, if we go back to last season when we know when they won everything, Mahrez comes on. I've got no KDB, but Gundogan is there. And then that's when you look at the squad building. So I think it's all 3 things you have to focus on. The squad building, the managers coaching and impacting games, and then individual players. Don't fall into the trap that Man United fans do, where we go down the line of, if we just sack the manager, we'll be fine. If we just sell Rashford, we're good. If we just get a better director of football, we're going to be great. It's never just, it very rarely is one of those things when you're still trying to get back to the top. It's all generally a combination. Can I just say Salah only has one foot. However, he adapts to make it work. Saka just needs to adapt to improve. Give this squad and Arteta a chance, is what Jamie says here. No Salah, no Van Dijk, no Saliba, no Robertson, no Endo, no Thiago, no Matip, no Tsimikas, no Bajcetic, no problem. And again, Kanate, what a defender, is what Man Like Honesty has got to say here. Arteta don't trust the players to sub them from the bench. Let's start them. Then why keep them? It's a good point. It doesn't. Man United have done this mistake as well, so I'll be very fair on that. How does our backup goalkeeper feel? We're begging Cameroon to let Onana play a game. That just sends a message that I don't think you're anywhere near good enough. So then when he does have to play, what's his confidence going to be like? Saka is not performing to the standard, but to call him not good enough is disingenuous. There is a reason why every team double marks him. On him, do you guys think the Achilles issue is a problem? Do you think it's a fair reason to stop? Is he playing with an injury where he should be rested? Is he playing too many games?
I think personally with the Saka situation, I think he's too comfortable. He knows that Reece Nelson ain't nowhere near him. Even when Saka's not playing well for prolonged periods of time or long stretches in games, he knows damn well Reece Nelson ain't starting no significant game for Arsenal. But
that's another reason why I want a striker, is that we can move Jesus to that right wing to challenge Saka.
If Arteta has the balls to do it,
be the closest one.
If Arteta had the balls to do it, but that's sorry, I forget your name. Matt. Sorry, yeah. What I'll say about that is, though, we've never seen Jesus play right wing for Arsenal. I don't think.
We've seen it over a few games last year in like the Europa League, and I'll see him friendly.
Europa,
he can play. Yeah, Jesus can play right. He did that predominantly for Manchester City, so he can play right. But again, I come back to this point, right? We gave Reece Nelson a new contract in the summer. Arsenal fans are like, oh, well, it's a good piece of business. It's a good piece of bit. I was saying no, it's not. But do you know why we gave Reece Nelson a new contract? Because it's the easiest thing to do. It's the cheaper thing to do for the football club. We'd rather
Instead
get
of
Reece Nelson.
instead of going out and buying.
Definitely
easier.
We signed Reece Nelson to a contract. He's on 60k a week, by the way. Not
it's cheaper. It's cheaper
right?
to give Reece Nelson a new contract. It's cheaper to give Reece Nelson a new contract.
We can get 10, 15, 20 million from him.
It's cheaper.
That's better than getting nothing from him.
It's cheaper to give Reece Nelson a new contract than what it is to go and spend 45, 50 million pound on a right winger that can actually take Bukayo Saka's place. That's why the football club did it, right? That's why half of these players are here still that shouldn't be here. And this is why I get on to fans that go, oh, just be happy. Just be happy. No, it's not good enough. NK is not good enough. Reece Nelson's not good enough.
Now, Reece Nelson's on 100 grand a week. His contract's 5.2 million a year. He's on 100 grand a week.
I don't think he is.
There you go.
Wow.
That's from Spot Rack. Sorry, that they've got stats. It might be different websites. Ray here says typical Liverpool away performance, should be smacked before any time, but the difference is that Liverpool got a counter attack that will score. Liverpool would just there's been too many games this year where you look at it and go, they could have been losing or they could have lost and have won for it to be fluke. It's happened too many times for it to be a fluke. It's weird as well, because if it was Liverpool doing it, Arsenal doing this, or United doing this, or Chelsea doing it, we'd all say it's not sustainable. It is for Liverpool. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't have the articulation, or I'm not a good enough orator to explain it. But I watch this Liverpool team play, and it's almost like I don't know how to explain it.
You want me to give?
Yeah, go on. You do it.
You got the assist. I'll tap it in. They've crossed the line before. They've done it. They have won big games. They've won Champions Leagues. They've won Premier Leagues.
I should doubt them.
Care about
yeah, I should
they
doubt
got
them.
over the line.
But doubting them, how I doubt other teams and clubs at this point, just doesn't. It doesn't feel right. It's like, they don't feel right. You know when you leave your house and you think you might have left the iron on or the oven on. That's how I feel when I say when anyone says Liverpool not good enough. I feel like there's like something in the back of my mind that is not computing that says, no, I think you're wrong about that.
Over the
and
line
I can't even
before.
articulate why. It's just a feeling. Need that blonde dye to damage Saka's hair follicles. I did say someone tweet the other day that since he dyed his hair ginger, he's turned into Rashford. And I'm like, yeah, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Maybe just get it out your hair. Get it out your hair. Need him bald to be like a young Robin. I like that. Arteta is going to destroy Saka. Star, do you believe that? Do you think Arteta could destroy Saka?
Yes.
I think so. I think we're on the brink of that, because what the whole system change. This is the thing with Saka for me, because we say he's one dimensional and he can only do one thing, which is go on his left. Yeah, but that's not entirely true, because last season that's not what he was doing. He wasn't just going on his left. Saka was on his left. Saka was in his right. I saw him score countless amounts of goals with his right foot. I saw him go into his right foot and cross it in. I saw him go into his right foot and put it through the middle. So something that's happened this season, something has changed with the system in itself, where he's telling Saka, just go on your left foot, cut in. Do your little thing with Erdegaard and stay on your left foot. And I genuinely don't know what he's done with the system to change it, but something has changed in this system, which is not only affected. It's the reality of it is it's all stems from the midfield change. What he's done to change his midfield, like you could have put Rice in there and it would have been fine. But the fact that you're putting Rice in there, and now you're missing Partey, and then now you're putting Kai Havertz in there, who in the midfield is invisible, by the way. He has 35 touches to 40 touches a game, by the way, for a midfielder, which is shocking. It does not work with the attackers. It doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't utilize the attackers to the level that they should be performing at. Hence why I'm not going to criticize my players fully.
I get you on that. Dollar Pro here says something though, which is any club in the world would take both of Arsenal's wingers, and it's Arteta's job to get the best out of them. And what I would say about that is true. If they were put on South, if any of our clubs, Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United, that's what we've got here. If it was announced tomorrow that Saka was joining our clubs, we'd be buzzing. If it was announced Martinelli was joining our clubs, I think we'd be buzzing. Which is why I'm not as much. They deserve criticism for their bad performances, but there's players in there, you know, they're of that level. So you're right. The manager.
So the question is then, Tel, why are we not getting the best out of them?
Well, but I think it's a combination of things. I think Saka's overplayed.
Yeah.
I think that the pressure is getting to the players this season. I think that's part of it. I also think as well the comfortability factor's there. If Arteta's not the one telling Saka to keep cutting onto his left and he keeps doing it, drop him. And I made this point to Man United fans when they go, yeah, but if we drop Sancho, we're playing a lesser player instead of him. We'll blame Sancho then for not being good enough. It's a weird concept. It's one of these things. When I was a kid, I broke my next door neighbor's car window. He tried to kick my cat. So when it was dark, I went outside of a catapult and smashed his car windows, right? Then I got caught. We had a cup semi-final, my Sunday league team. My punishment, I was banned for playing football for a month. Couldn't go to football. Dad, we've got a semi-final I want to play. And I blame my dad. If we go out, it's your fault. And my coach said it to me. He went, no, it's your fault because you've got yourself banned from playing. And that's the problem that football fans have nowadays. They'll go, if Saka's being bad and he gets dropped, we can't drop him. It's Reece Nelson that comes in. Blame Saka then for not being good enough. But we don't. We'll blame Reece. You'd blame Reece Nelson for not being good enough coming in. That isn't the right attitude to have. You have to look at the better the player, the more scrutiny. Like Reece Nelson should never receive as much criticism as Saka ever. He's nowhere near as good. That's the way it should be, in my personal opinion.
So just to bring it back to your point then, Tel, because the 3 reasons that you gave, yeah, which is he's overplayed, he doesn't have the competition, he's comfortable, yeah, and he's not being used correctly in the system, like with Arteta at the moment. If I can see that, you can see that. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can see that. Why can't the best-looking Spaniard we know see that? Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I agree. Listen, and I think that a lot of the criticism, some of the criticism, not all of it, some of the criticism of Arteta is absolutely spot on because he is ultimately the manager of these players and he needs to get the best out of them. There are elements where you criticize them, but then if you keep playing them, it becomes a you issue. Like Anthony's poor, shouldn't have spent £90 million on him for Man United, but the manager keep picking him. It goes, my criticism of the player stops, and I look at the fact he's being picked as being the issue there. And I think it's all part of the problem. Let's be honest, Liverpool were bad in the first half. Our strikers not scoring, concerning, but it's Arsenal's fault. They should have killed the game in the first half. Subs again saved us, is what Mr. K says. I agree with everything you've said there, mate. Daniel, who's a Chelsea fan, says, we told you about Havertz, but we misprofiled him. Yeah.
Some Arsenal fans wanted to pay Chelsea more money for him.
The revisionism of old players is hilarious. After the FA Cup win, what happened during the COVID season with those players? We were in the trenches. Yeah, I do agree there's revisionism about some of those old players and old managers, but every club seems to do that. You know, every club, like there are people, there's evidence out there of people saying that Ronaldo is not a proper footballer, but still laughing that Man United got rid of him. It happens to all of our clubs. It's crazy.